Got our system command. Oh, yeah, I see it live on Facebook. And see live on Twitch.
Okay, I see it too. I have it going. Twitch is going.
Yep.
YouTube is going.
YouTube's going. There's supposed to be like social media posts that happened when it started going live. I'm not seeing those.
The Steam one says limited chat access.
Limited chat access?
That's what it says.
Where do you see that one?
I'm going to send it to you on Slack. Unless I'm not looking in the right location.
Let's see. I see that. I know that there's some broadcast settings. That's the fun thing about Steam broadcasting is that it's in like early beta access.
Mm-hmm. I'm also not allowed to set the quality lower.
Oh yeah?
No. So I have YouTube and Facebook set to like 144p because I don't really care that the video quality's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's funny that this one has to be 1080p.
It better be 1080p. That's the kind of quality we need.
I just would rather them to be slower so it doesn't or lower so it doesn't cause any problems.
Right.
But is that the right link or am I not looking at the right thing?
That's the link for me as an individual user. Like I'm streaming game. But what should also be happening is the stream should also be happening. Yeah, okay. Is the stream should be. It's supposed to be like the events that's happening. Also be happening. Yeah, okay. Is our streaming will be associated with it.
Oh, I see. Wes is in chat in Facebook.
Oh yeah. Oh, hey Wes. Welcome. System be associated with it. All right.
Oh, I see. Wes is in chat in Facebook.
Oh yeah. Oh, I should not be watching Facebook as well. All right. I'm just gonna focus on the game. I'm just gonna focus on playing. All right. So JT, what do we have here?
Well, it still seems like Steam's broadcasting is not working.
Okay.
So we should probably fix that. Or if it's just having problems because you're supposed to be broadcasting at 7 p.m. or whatever.
Potentially. I know, like, I whitelisted my user on Steam to be able to stream the game, because it's like a double whitelisting where you gotta like whitelist your user. Your user says which game you're streaming for, and then that game has to whitelist the user, but then the event also whitelists the user.
There's a problem communicating with the Steam servers.
Where do you see that?
I just got that error on mine.
Sorry. Steam can't handle this. Can't stop all of this.
Oh, Rebecca's here. Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, welcome. I'm sorry, we're debugging Steam broadcasting. Even more fun than the game is figuring out how Steam works.
Yeah, trying to figure out what's going on with Steam's broadcasting.
Steam developer pages taking its time to load.
Yeah, I'm actually having trouble getting on Steam at all.
Yeah, I say we just run with the show for now. And
we technically got 10 minutes before that's supposed to start.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Starts at 7.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, everyone's here early. I mean, we're us broadcasting. Yeah, I'm whitelisted as a broadcaster. That should be happening.
Oh, okay. Now I just got in to the page and it says we're broadcasting live. Okay, so it is working.
Okay.
So everything's working. Nobody panic.
I'm panicked. Not panicked.
Ryan Griffin's in chat. Amanda's in chat. Everybody's on Facebook.
Awesome.
So, hey everyone.
Welcome.
Right.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I see us broadcasting on Steam. We're broadcasting on Facebook. We're broadcasting on YouTube. We're broadcasting on Twitch. We're everywhere. We're worldwide.
Yeah, we're going crazy.
All right. So, yeah. We're just gonna let our Discord users know that we're going as well. I don't want to leave them out.
The whole party's here. The whole party's here. The whole party's here.
The whole entire squad is here.
I also have Shaya. Shaya's here.
No. The whole entire squad is here.
I also have Shaya.
Oh yeah, let's see Shayo.
Cats.
Let's see our Shayo.
Am I popping up on the screen?
Oh yeah, let's see Shayo. Let's see our Shayo. Here, I'll let you talk. Talk with Shayo. Oh yeah. Let's see our Shayo. Here, I'll let you talk. Talk with Shayo. That is Shayo, our CEO, our
CEO,
our chief executive officer. That is Shayo, our CEO, our
most important person on our
chief
team.
Yeah, very simple. He helped very early on with a lot of brainstorming and
most important person.
Process implementation very early on with a lot of brainstorming and
most important person. Executive producer.
Process implementation very early
Executive producer.
and how many puns can we get?
How much time do we have? 5 more minutes?
Yeah, 5 more minutes to finish. How many doctors, cat doctors have a lot of very specialized skills, such as being able to set up a cat picture. Get it? I'm sorry, that was a bad one. That was a terrible one. Set up a cat picture. Get it? I'm sorry, that was a bad one. That was a terrible one. Set up a cat.
Anytime we have a meeting, Sheo always comes in my lap because he thinks I'm talking to all my
That was a
friends.
bad one. That was a terrible one. Amanda's saying there's such weird feedback.
Just weird feedback from all my friends. I'll mute my mic for a second and see if it's from me or not. Just weird feedback.
Oh, I think
I'll mute my mic for a second.
it's not feedback. It's
Just weird feedback.
oh, I think
I'll mute my mic for a second.
it's not feedback. It's
Just weird feedback.
oh, I think it's the dishes washing. Not feedback. Hey Wallace, can I ask you to turn off the dishes or the faucet? Dishes washing. Yeah. Hey Wallace, can you turn it off? To turn off the that's the stove or the faucet. Oh. Yeah. Grilling. Can you turn it off? That's the stove or the faucet. Oh. Yeah. Grilling. Can you turn it off? That's the stove or the faucet. See, that mic's not going in. Can you turn it off? What do you mute? See, that mic's not going in. Sure where that feedback would be coming from. That mic's not going in. Sure where that feedback would be coming from. Yeah, just pretty clearly. Sorry about this. Sorry about that feedback. Yeah, just pretty clearly. Sorry about this. Sorry about that feedback. Pretty clearly. Sorry about this. Sorry.
So I'm trying to check everything just for people going into chat and things, but that one keeps crashing. So I'm trying to check everything just for people going into chat and things, but that one keeps crashing. So I'm trying to check everything just for people going into chat and things, but that one keeps crashing. So I'm trying to check everything just for
So I've got that stream. So make sure that there's no video. I think one of the reasons why there could be like an infinite feedback is because like if I'm watching it on my main computer, then the sound would just keep on looping on itself again and again or something like that. So I've closed out all the streams on my like main computer. Yeah.
All right, Matt on YouTube said there was audio issues, but now they're much better. So
okay,
hopefully that's fixed.
Sweet. Yeah.
Thank you, Rebecca, for complimenting my tort poster. I'm pretty sure I got that when we went to go see them together.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, I tried to add some decor to my room. We've got a couple of ravens here.
Inspired. Yeah, I saw that.
Got Morty and Edgar, two favorite ravens. Yeah. All right, so...
I think you might need to turn one to be more in profile, because it's a little hard to tell.
Oh, I see. How's, There you go. It's just chilling. This one's a little bit of a smaller guy.
All right. Aaron's in chat. Hey, Aaron. Mike Bird.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Mike Bird. Welcome. All right. JT, you think we're good to go?
Yeah. I mean, the Steam page keeps crashing on me, but YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch are all doing fine. So I guess we can go for it.
All right. Cool. Well, welcome everyone for watching. This is our world premiere, developers' first playthrough of the game, RavenHeart Hospital, a medical visual novel. Yeah, basically you can play the demo now on Steam, and we're just gonna go through, show off features of the game and have fun. So yeah, very first off, very important. What do we name our character? Who's our character going to be?
Well, we should probably introduce ourselves as well. So anybody's watching.
Who are we? Yeah.
Who are we?
Yeah. So JT, you want to go ahead?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm JT. I'm the game designer and composer on the project.
Yeah. And I'm Zach. I am a programmer, a pseudo level designer, and main person dealing with social medias and fun stuff on the team. And we're the two co-founders. We also had a lot of assistance from Michelle Pineda and Zach Bolubaz and Amelia St. John with this game and with the art in this game. It looks great. Mm-hmm. Neither of us are artists. They helped us a lot. So yeah. See, anything else before we get started?
No, we can kind of just jump into it. I'm sure when people have questions about the game, we can talk about that in more detail.
So what I'm going to do first is name my doctor. Go ahead, name him Zappy. That's what I like going by. I'm going to select this character. I like their look. Go ahead and press play. And so we've got a few characters here who all have their own story tracks for their stories. And we only have one of these stories unlocked to start with Dr. Holiday, the director. So let's see what she's about. Like her episode. RavenHeart Hospital, Charm City. Got large glass windows, mind you. Yeah, so this scene was one of the first scenes we had, or the second round that we did with Michelle. This was one of the scenes we had Michelle work on at the hospital's exterior. And it was just very nice to finally get to see the outside of RavenHeart Hospital. So, welcome to RavenHeart Hospital. I'm Dr. Holiday. Who are you? That's me. That's Dr. Zappy. So yeah, it's one of our first choices that we have in the game. We have choices all throughout the game with various characters, and they'll some of them will affect your relationship with characters. Some of them are just fun things, like saluting Dr. Holiday, which she's gonna think is weird. Let's see. Why do we decide to become a doctor? It's a great question.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, sure.
To help people, of course.
To help people. All right. Close your eyes. Doctors are always needed. First operation. Patient is Frank Smith. Leading this operation. Moving the tumors. Any questions before we get started? Yeah, does the patient have any underlying conditions? That's important. Do we know if the tumors are malignant? They're benign. What is Metagel?
So this is a scenario in the scripting language that we came up with that the player is allowed to pick multiple choices, and it'll keep going back to the options while eliminating the ones you've already selected before. So it feels more like a normal conversation. That's kind of what we're trying to emulate.
Right. No, I'm ready. All right, let's get into the OR. So yeah, we've got part of the game that is more like a visual novel where you're talking to characters, going back and forth, making choices and decisions. And the other part of the game where you're actually in surgery, performing surgery. And so main features of this are we've got patients. There may be various patients that you're operating on. We've got vitals. That's their health and how well they're doing. And you'll have people continuing to help you through the operation and guide you through that, as well as if you're getting really proficient at the operation, we've got our scoring system where you can just try to rack up the best score and perform the operation as best as possible. So Dr. Holiday is telling me that I need to use Metagel, so I'll apply that, and then I'll use a scalpel. Make an incision with the patient. Yeah, where patient's vitals are dropping, so we'll give them an injection that should help them. Then we'll transition to an internal medicine scene. We got these small tumors. Use Metagel before I make some incisions here. Right now I'm using some, because I've played this a bit, I'm using some of the key binding.
Yeah, so right now you can click in the bottom left corner to select your tools, or if you click on the hotkeys with the keyboard, you can quickly select stuff.
Nice. Alright, let's stitch them up. Love that. Love this stitching tool, because you're just able to go what? Yeah. And I get a score. Master Surgeon. You get time? Yeah. performed well today, Dr. Zappy. Thank you. Time to meet a few other guests. So this is starting to get into right now. We're just playing through Dr. Holiday's storyline. That's her story track. But as you're playing and as you're going through their story, you'll be able to meet other characters throughout, and you may talk to some characters, and that leads you to getting introduced to other characters until you have a pretty full roster of characters that you can talk to and see their stories. This is Annabelle. Yeah, is that a bird? Unlock Annabelle's episode. We have Dr. Holiday, our favorite, Big Tex.
The fan favorite, Big Tex.
The fan favorite, Big Tex. Yeah. I'm Dr. Zappy, and you can call me Dr. Zappy. Someone? Yes, Dante. So, kid, I'm a doctor. So, very savage remarks from Dante. Alright, so now we've got 3 new character tracks, stories. So who should we start up next? JT.
Does anybody have any?
Yeah.
Anybody in chat? Whoever says it first, I will say that one.
Perfect. There we go. Crowdsource it.
Big Tex. All right, there we go.
Big Tex. Let's go. All right. Nice sunny day. Could be. Whenever you hear disperse jangling, that's how you know it's Big Tex.
That's how you know it's Big Tex.
This sounds good. Check out the cafeteria. Do you look famished? Ooh, alright. What are we eating for breakfast?
What's everybody feeling in chat? What kind of food? Donuts, hash browns.
Donuts? Hash browns?
Let's see. Who responds first?
You're saying hash browns?
No, nobody said anything yet.
Let's see.
Bacon and eggs.
Bacon and eggs. Alright.
That's the first one on. Yeah.
Let's see. Fried turkey bacon and fried eggs. Nice. Ugh. Delicious bacon. Oh no. More food. Nope.
I always like the mental image of Big Tex just holding like a bunch of donuts.
Yes. Yeah. Soon we'll get that. We'll get
just way too many donuts.
Yeah, just a mountain of donuts. As big as Big Tex.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alright, so you got x-ray, got some broken bones here. That's not good. Oh, yeah. We got some internal bleeding. Not great. Okay. Deal with bone fragments. Deal with blood pools. Get to this. Okay. So, it's gonna be another internal surgery scene. So yeah, we got some broken bones here. It's not too great. This is an operation where we gotta use our forceps to pick them up. There's just some blood pools that are appearing that we want to clean up so that we get a clear view of operating scene.
You also need to be careful with your patient's vitals.
Right.
Some operations like this one, they just start off lower than other ones.
I'll give them a little bit of a kick. That should help. Still hemorrhaging blood. All right.
You can also see in the top right that you have your score and your chain bonus, which is like a multiplier on top of all the points you're gaining. So the faster you go, you'll get exponentially higher score. So moving accurately and quickly is like the best way to play.
Yeah. Yeah, as you see, like it'll take some time. It'll start running down.
Mm-hmm.
That's a chain bonus starting to tick down, but then it'll reset with every successful operation move that you do.
Yeah, something I've really enjoyed watching is like trauma center speedruns and seeing people go through like operation games really quick. So we wanted to make sure that like the point scoring system feels really good. And players getting like crazy scores and sharing them with each other. Give it like the arcade game kind of vibe.
Yeah, for sure. When in our Discord server, we actually have we got a high score channel to share high scores that you get. So yeah, I don't know. That's a pretty good score. Almost 120,000 days. Not bad.
That's actually a good segue. I should give the link to the Discord.
Oh yeah. All right. So one of the fun things with each of the characters that you interact with, they all have their own field of research or field of medicine. So Big Tex is a pediatric surgeon, and as well as operating on kids, he's also like one of the characters that has strongest like bedside manner. And in this next section, he kind of tries to walk you through and teach you some better bedside manner to be able to talk to these people, patients. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Sorry to keep y'all waiting. Thank you for your patience. Good thing you brought Billy in today. I think it's a good thing they brought Billy in today. Well, Big Tex, fine. Thank you for your patience. Yeah.
So something that Big Tex tries to teach you to do is to have good bedside manner, be polite and respectful to your patients, try to make them feel calm. This is the first operation, so they're relatively chill patients, I guess you could say. But later ones will become more challenging to kind of deal with and kind of ease their worries. So he's kind of warming you up for that.
It was strenuous activity. Definitely not. Well, he's got a show at the Crow's Nest. That does sound fun.
I like in the chat, Ryan had said, should add a therapy dog. We were actually just talking about that.
We are planning on that.
We are actually planning on that.
We're thinking of Big Tex is going to have a therapy dog, whose name is Big Dog. I don't know what you think.
What else would Big Tex name his dog?
Small Dog. All right, and so another thing is from doing various actions and making various choices, you'll gain affection with characters, and this affection can lead to unlocking certain content that you may not see otherwise. So it's if you want to develop like better relationships and see more content with the character, you may want to gain affection with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no more episodes for Big Sex for right now, but we are working on that, and we're planning to demo more of that in our internal playtest that we've been doing. People on our Discord server and people on our newsletter. But for now, we just have a couple of episodes with Annabelle, a couple of episodes with Dante. Any preferences there?
Let's just jump into Annabelle.
Let's jump into Annabelle.
She's the first on the list.
That's true. So yeah, Annabelle is a veterinary surgeon, so she deals a lot with not humans, but animals. Yeah, puppy.
So one of the things we wanted to do with this concept of the game is, I keep referring to it as a very anime kind of thing, but you're trying to basically learn from all these different types of surgeons and become like the ace surgeon, and kind of like almost like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like master all the elements. Like you have to kind of master all these different kinds of surgeries, and that's why you're going through these different plots. So Annabelle's like veterinary surgery versus pediatrics. Like they're in real life they're radically different. Like you wouldn't learn both, but it's a game, and I think that's a fun way to just have a lot of different kinds of gameplay and fun, very different kinds of stories to have with them.
Absolutely.
That are all at the same hospital.
Yeah. And that was one of the things I was talking about when I wrote a new devlog this Monday and just recapping the last 4 months of development. And that was a major pivot that we made a few, like a month ago, was to go away from, we were thinking initially of just making a very linear medical drama game where you just have episode, and it's kind of like Monster of the Week, but with patients. And the trouble that we were having with that kind of game was just letting each of the characters kind of shine and have enough time in the spotlight, because you're just dealing with trying to introduce all these characters and have them all talking all during an episode with another patient, and that was just harder for some characters, especially with Annabelle at that time. But then going into more of this model of each character has their own story, just allowed to give them time and to breathe.
Additionally, it made it easier for the user-generated content.
Mm-hmm.
You can jump into that whenever you want. You can add a new story and play through it whenever you want.
Right.
So we can show that feature off a little bit later.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something. Later this week we'll want to show that. There's some working examples of. We tried to make this game the scripting and the adding in of mod content in very easy. So yeah, we'll definitely share more of that later this week. But this pupper needs some dildo blocks. Not great. The best thing is whenever hemorrhages just appear right where you were.
What do you have it called in the back end?
Gunk? Yeah, I call everything gunk that could possibly appear on a patient. that's just from the first week. Like it's like, oh yeah, it's just kind of like gunk. It's like afflicting these patients, right? I had no better term for it. Probably injuries, probably wounds, but it's just gunk.
We also referred to the meta gel as juice for a long time.
Yeah. During the initial development, we used instead of the current tool UI, which Amelia St. John did, we just used orange juice like canister as like the applicator for juice. All right, let's get to meet. You speak bird? Croatian. Nice.
So now you get a little bit of time while you're about to go hang out with Annabelle to get to know her a little bit more. And she's kind of sweet and kind of a goofball, but you can kind of get a little bit kind of more serious little details out of her too. And definitely the thing we're trying to do with all the characters is not make the game ever too serious or too dark or anything. We want it to be, fun. But we also didn't want to shy away from like characters having some kind of depth to them, and they are cartoons, but they have like a little bit of more emotion than just like they're all just one single note jokes.
Yeah.
So we're like we were saying earlier, we're gonna have in the character select screen you can add custom content to it. So I think Zach, if you scroll over, you can show that button.
Yeah. Yeah, and we'll get more into this later, but with adding your own, you'll be able to select the story pack folders, and the Discord user Craftmaster Matt has helped us a lot with just writing up the documentation for how to create those story pack folders, and how to create cutscenes for them, and we really just wanted to make it easy for people to be able to import their own stories, use our characters, use their own characters, create their own backgrounds, add assets that they want. So yeah, later this week we'll get more into actually like importing and going through that flow.
Yeah. One of the questions is, are we thinking of putting voiceovers for the characters? We've been asked this a bunch in Discord, and I think we would like to do that. It's just kind of probably more like a stretch goal.
Yeah.
But that'd be great for people that want to play it more casually, not even have to read the dialogue. It'd be nice if you could just kind of let it run.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely on the table. We'd like to do that.
Yeah, we got some interest from that, from some of the Discord users, and yeah, I've got a video that shows one of our users actually like going through and doing some voice overs for Dante, and that was a lot of fun. But I think we've been talking about going with more kind of like a bark system for voiceovers for like our first pass of that. But yeah, as JT said, we're never opposed to that. We've got the tech to handle having voiceovers in with the audio. It's more just stretching to get that all done. So yeah, do another episode of Annabelle, and then we'll jump into Dante.
So this is another nice thing of the game not being linear, is you can kind of choose, like, I'm going to take a break on this path and go work on another character's path.
Yeah.
Play through their story instead. We talked a good amount about the timeline and when this all takes place, and it's kind of all at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we mostly just wanted to make sure that players could write their own stories and add them to the game, and you could just jump into it whenever you wanted. Just make sure it's modular and open for players. I'm the kind of designer that doesn't like to be prescriptive with how players play a game. Like, if you want to skip through all the dialogue and only play the operations, you know, that's okay. Some players will want to do that, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Just as long as you're enjoying it. So.
Yeah. So now this operation that we have is got a cat tartar sauce. He's been involved in a major car accident. Now we're gonna have to use the defibrillator because they are in cardiac arrest from their injuries. So with this, we gotta time our actions there. They both got a broken bone. That's not good. Get rid of that glass. Owie.
If you've been on the Discord, you've probably heard us talking about this. But if you're new, all the art in the operations is placeholder. We're still needing to spend some milestone time to work on that, and work with our contractors to get that work going. But the characters and like the cutscenes where they have dialogue are the ones we've spent more time getting those to look the way we want to. So if you're wondering, I've been asked before, like, why does there look such a big disconnect? And it's like, it's not intentional.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my art. So it's just kind of placeholder, just to kind of get the point across.
Yeah, this definitely is not reflective of a final look of the game.
Yeah. Just to be clear, because I'm sure some people are wondering that.
Yeah. Heal them up. And I think we may have some. Wait. All right.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, then we've got Dante's episode. And yeah, and speaking about the UI, we already have some new UI for just core dialogue and scenes and all that coming in, which for our next builds we'll have in to share off. I think so. But yeah, Amelia did a lot of great work prototyping some new potential looks for the game. That'll be really cool to get hooked in.
So Dante's types of operations are different than the other ones, which we haven't fully implemented this yet, but it's going to be based more off of smaller, less detailed operations that are more about triage, so jumping around to different patients, and not losing any of them, with all of them having their life kind of tick down at the same time. So his is kind of about moving quickly, and it's a little more chaotic. And I think his character kind of reflects that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dante also loves their vehicle, their ambulance, the Inferno, and they drive it like a maniac a lot of times.
Yeah. I tried to give Dante a lot of little references to racing movies, and even his name is kind of a homage to like Initial D for me, which I really like Initial D. So I was just trying to make a character that kind of like had little fun references to things like that and Fast and Furious and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
And I know that when like Zach was redesigning Dante with a new design, like some of the inspiration was Redline, the Redline movie, which I only watched like last summer. It's so crazy.
Yeah, that was a cool movie. But I think like any other writer, you kind of just draw inspirations from like different types of media, and I don't have any intention to like copy a specific character, but more the mood, I guess, of stuff, or like some of the fun little call outs to it, I guess, is kind of fun to do. So we've done that quite a bit with like the different characters in the game. Like Annabelle is her name Annabelle Lee is a reference to a Edgar Allan Poe poem. Things like that. That was a quick, easy one.
Yeah. Nice. It's always nice when you can fluster Dante.
Oh yeah.
Embarrass him a bit. Keep an eye out for you. Just leaves.
Dante doesn't know how to flirt.
No. Alright, cool. And so this is the last episode that we have right now in the demo. And even though, you know, we're playing through the demo and we're going through it, and, you know, we're going through a lot of operations, I think, you know, I still find that, you know, there's a lot of choice paths and, you know, more development for stories that I haven't fully explored yet, still. And just getting better at like doing the surgery is fun. Like when you first start off, you're figuring out all the tools and, you know, how the procedures work, but you know, it just gets fun to get better at operations.
Does anybody in the chat have any other questions for us? I'm just checking just to see. Feel free to ask any questions. And if you think of something later, join our Discord chat and ask us there. We have a fairly active little community.
Yeah, we're on it all the time. And we're going to be doing another developer Q&A on Discord tomorrow at 1 p.m. I believe, Eastern time.
Yes.
Yeah, so just for, you know, anyone that's played the demo, gone through it, have questions or feedback, like, always happy to hear that. Like, yeah, we really take that stuff seriously. Ooh, nice chest. Oh no. Got a cardiac arrest. Alright, what's timing for this? Oh, missed that. Oof. That has a lot of bad injuries here. Yeah, JT, do you want to talk about some of the new kind of operations or procedures we're planning on doing?
Yeah, so we still have, like, obviously a lot of different types of tech we need to build for different kinds of procedures and operations. Some in the future I think we should like try checking out is things like organ transplants, probably like our bone replacement will probably make a little bit more detailed, not just have every operation where you're pulling things out of patients, but also like, you know, here's how you replace someone's hip or replace their heart. So I think like the organ transplant stuff will be kind of neat. We've been asked about if we're going to have like different kinds of diseases you might have to like eradicate, and I think we'll come up with some fun little mini games for that too. Because essentially building a game like this, I think about it as kind of like an arcade game with a whole bunch of little mini games when we're just talking about operations, because like each procedure is kind of its own little micro game. And I know for the next sprint or milestone, me and Zach, me and you were talking about prototyping some stuff and kind of seeing like what things kind of stick and what don't.
Right.
So something we've put a lot of effort into is like, and kind of a focus is like not polishing stuff right at the start, or like thinking it through too much. It's just like, let's just build it and see what it looks like, and then polish it later and make it kind of the best version of it that we can make. And I think even like small, like neat little things, like you came up with like how the chain bonus works, and even just like the roughest form of it was like a really fun. So it's like, I like being able to prove out that stuff really early and polishing it after the fact, not spend too much time overthinking it, I guess. I don't know if I articulated that super well, but
no, I think we definitely, that's our approach, is just to be pragmatic and, try to get features in. And, once again, leading up to this, we did a couple of, weekly demos and play tests of the game with people that are following us, just to get feedback. And, we just like sharing like, all the new updates, and not try to like go too long between like when we're showing off features of the game.
Yeah. But trying to set our milestones kind of to real world dates too. So like working towards the Steam Game Festival was like a big milestone for us.
Right.
I'm trying to get this build ready for that. So I don't know. I guess like what specific operations we want to have. I think it's kind of, we've talked about like the backyard cooking one.
The high stakes operation.
Yeah, the high stakes.
Yeah.
I was talking about one where I think it'd be fun to be with Dante and have to triage like pilots on an airplane while it's going down. But also have to like work on the plane with your surgery tools, like fix like the console or something like that. Like just something that's just like really, just something like so over the top, but and completely unrealistic. But I think it'd be fun to do, because I think that's kind of been our motto. Is like we're not worried about it being super believable. Just kind of like if it's fun and if the characters make sense for the scene, then we'll go for it. I see that we have somebody in Twitch. Yes, go ahead. Liking the arcade feel of this. Thank you. Awesome. How many characters are you planning on having in the final product? And what are you anticipating to be the estimated play time per character? So the total number of characters that I think we're aiming for is about 5 to 6. And depending on kind of how that goes, moving forward to like 7 to 8 potential. And obviously any characters that you download from other people working on their own like fan characters, custom content stuff, that's more to play. So for us, I think it's going to be like between 5 to 8, depending on like scope. Because we're still, and you're asking like how long per character. I'm not completely sure. We're still sort of hashing out like how long a character story should be. We definitely want to make sure that none of the characters stick around like way too long, because you don't want to just be doing the same operations over and over again. So making sure that they're always kind of unique is important. But that's a good question. So TBD.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that that's pretty consistent with what we've been saying. It's just like 5 or 6, 7 characters, like 10 episodes per. Just gives them a good arc per character. And once again, like that's why we switched to having each character having story tracks, which was kind of an inspiration from Trauma Team and like how Trauma Team set up their characters. And they had like, you know, some radically different like gameplay between all the different characters, which was kind of a shame because there were characters that you may like, but then their whole entire gameplay is endoscopy. Not calling anyone
the
out.
Endoscopy was not very fun in that game.
Yeah. Whereas, like, you know, we just want to give people the chance to like grow. Maybe you just want to focus on one character. Maybe you want to like spread it out and, you know, get a feel for all of them. You know, just find the characters that you like. Yeah. Any other questions? Any other, you know, content in the demo you'd like to see again?
I think some new people have joined on the Steam stream since he started, so maybe start back from the beginning and start playing through from the beginning, just in like a little bit of time we have, just to show some of the operations if people missed it.
So our first episode is with Dr. Holiday, the director for RavenHeart Hospital. And, you know, you being a, you know, resident just coming in, makes sense that the first person that you meet is the person in charge of the hospital. Set the ground up.
Some, I guess, fun facts about like some of the character designs are character artist Zach.
One second. You're sounding pretty scratchy. I'll try to figure out. Wait, try speaking again?
Hello?
That still sounds scratchy. Oh no.
Oh, I'll jump out and jump back.
Yeah. In the meantime, I see Matt on YouTube. Let's see, planning on a final story after all the main character arcs are all completed. To be honest, no, we don't really have a final story. I think each character would have their own kind of like wrap-up story, but right now we don't have a like final landing story for like all the characters together.
I was roughly imagining that like maybe Dr. Holiday's last episode like opens up once you've done everybody else's, and that kind of concludes the story. But yeah, no plans for it at the moment. Am I still scratchy?
No, you sound much better.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I was gonna say, fun facts. Our character designer Zach, he was saying how he got inspiration for their character costumes off of the game Destiny. Just kind of fun fact. We wanted to make sure that everybody looked kind of like realistic, but also kind of futuristic, but not too sci-fi. It was kind of a weird ask, but I'm really happy with how everybody kind of turned out. Just wearing cool lab coats, but everybody doesn't look the same, which is good.
Sure.
We got some more questions. Okay.
Yeah, and Matt's saying, still finding something that links all the characters together would be interesting. There definitely are. So yeah, we have fleshed out a lot of the characters, and we do have, you know, their backstories, their links, and stuff like that. That has not yet come up in the gameplay, or there's been some hints to it. And yeah, just going deeper into the characters, and as you're, gaining more affection and getting closer to characters, some of those, more personal details will come out more. Yeah. Any other comments there, JT?
Doc Holliday, is that a Tombstone reference? It's more a reference to now I just drawn a blank. Sorry.
No.
No, it's not. Trying to think of her name now. I will answer that in a second. Billie Holiday. It's just like completely like blanking on the name. I had to Google it.
Whatever.
She was a jazz singer, and she lived in Baltimore. Try to make a decent amount of Baltimore references in this game because we're working on it and we're in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's been one of the really fun things. Is just like owning, the Baltimore environment and being able to, reference like just a lot of the city that like we've seen, we've loved and enjoyed, and just imagining like, oh, what's that in a little bit, like pushed a little bit into the future, and having that setting.
Yeah, and living in a city that has like probably the most famous hospital in the world is like kind of also like helps with that, with Johns Hopkins, and we even asked like our artists for things like the street view. So when you go to one of the scenes with the street, like we asked specifically for it to look kind of like Fells Point, have that kind of vibe to it, and a lot of the brick architecture, things like that. Like we wanted to have kind of the Baltimore vibe, even though it's technically not Baltimore. It's like our fantasy version of it, but all the references and stuff, that was kind of important.
Yep. Yeah, once again, we present choices, during dialogue, and some of those choices, you just have a single choice. Then other ones we allow, the users to just select from a pool of choices. Just keep asking questions, going back and forth. But if you're all done, you can say you're done. Break out of that. So yeah, once again, this is our first operation. Dr. Holiday will be assisting us, and that's another cool thing. Is like every single, for whatever like story track you're on, like that doctor's probably going to be helping you and giving you tool tips about like how to operate. See patient here, Frank Smith, and their vitals. Vitals are slowly going down, and you just have a score that goes up as you perform more successful operations and procedures. And the better you do them, the more you're keeping your chain bonus timer up, and you're just building up the multiplier for your score.
Mm-hmm.
And I just injected the patient with some the syringe, some medicine. That'll help stabilize their vitals, keep them up.
Nice score.
Nice work. We're talking about like user-generated content, and once again, like we support like VO, and so if someone does want to create their own story and add their own VO to it, like that's totally fair game to do, and love to see someone do that.
Yeah, I guess the big dream for this game would be like we're making kind of the vanilla game, and people take this and make their own stories and make it much bigger than what we put out in the world. that'd be really exciting for me, is to see like all the crazy stories other people come up with and other operations that people can come up with, and you know, like just taking place in like radically different settings or custom characters and all that. It's like the just giving the fans the opportunity to do that, I think is just like really neat.
Yeah. We recently had a story pack jam where we ran in Discord and just challenge users to create their own characters, create their own stories, and just experiment with our scripting format that we made, that we tried to make easy for people, non-technical people, to be able to do and just get something on screen. And yeah, Discord user Craftmaster Matt had like a 34-page story that he worked on, which was awesome. Like it was cool. Like a full entire like arc and like mystery like all throughout it, and suspense. It was awesome. And then like after doing that, like they submitted like another like follow-up like story to like flesh out more details. And it's just cool to see like that's all happening in this like scripting language that we created, and it's just easy to plug into the game and then actually like see that come to life. So yeah, throughout the next I'll figure out maybe that's something for tomorrow, or Wednesday. Like that would be a good thing to go more into, is just showing off the scripting, and how you could create a custom story and bring that in.
Yeah. But I think because we just started this company, this little game developer studio not too long ago, like just beginning of this year, towards the beginning of the year. And I think something that me and Zach, I'm putting words in your mouth, but I think you agree with a core goal of being like making sure that players can make their own game out of the game and like drive it further than we can, and putting that tool, like building the tools so that the tools are in their hands. And we both really like games that let you do that, kind of like build on what the core game is. So I haven't really seen that done in like other visual novels. So I'm hoping that like, people will play this and then go like, oh, I want to make my own operation or something that's crazy. And instead of being like, well, now I need to like figure out a way to like hack this game so I can like do some weird patch to it. It's like, no, I just wanted like Mario Maker baked into Mario from the get-go kind of thing, for lack of a better term. So I'm just glad that we're, I don't know, doing the thing that we like when we play games.
Yeah. No, like I was, as I was like doing the like kind of summary devlog, just talking about the last 4 months, like within the first, like after the first week, we had like the first pass at like our scripting format, and like that was just like core to like starting this game, was that we would be able to hand it off to people, teach other people, and like they'd be able to just play around with it. But like my experience before this was running a tools engineering team at a bigger company, and had 3 or 4 other like developers working with us, and we were just making tools for other game developers to be able to get their troops, their units, whatever, like into the game, and just make that easy for them to play around with and create. And it's been really cool to see, even though I left that project, it's just still cool to see that a lot of developers are able to get stuff done just purely with configs and not with touching any code at all. So I always think that's a success, is like when you could just give the means of creation, and just enable your users to be able to do stuff. Like I love that as a tools developer.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I was kind of throwing shade at Mario. I'm not. I'm just saying that like I like seeing like the Kaizo levels in Mario Maker and stuff. So I'm hoping to see the same kind of thing in this game. Is see some players like build some crazy speedrunners only like operations that are just like completely bonkers.
Just like one vital and like
yeah, just something like nuts. But that kind of thing is like exciting to me as a game developer. Is like, well, build a game where the tools are just basically player facing, and they could just kind of go crazy with that stuff, and they don't have to fight against the game engine to make it work the way they want. So I'm just glad that we kind of started on that foot with this project, and it's been going pretty well. So
yeah. Any other? Yes, we're at the 8 o'clock mark. We said we were doing this for an hour. Any other last questions, comments, feedback about the game, company, what our plans are? Happy to answer anything.
Yeah, and I also want to redirect everybody, join the Discord. We're on it all the time. We have quite a few people that are super friendly and talking it. I feel like we're trying to build a positive community there. And I feel like everybody in it's been very friendly and nice. So, jump in. You could chat just once in a while. You could jump in every day if you want. We both try to check it frequently.
Yeah.
Admittedly, Zach is in it much more than I am.
But we both go in it, we both seeing the content and try to keep posting. I try to post every day about what we're doing, what we're working on. Some of it's not interesting because it's tech stuff and whatnot, but try to post as much interesting stuff as we're doing day to day and get feedback on it.
And that feedback's been very useful. It is actually helping us drive directions, I think. We don't want to just say give us feedback and we already have our waterfall plan and we're just gonna do whatever we want anyway. It's no, we've actually been reacting to what people mentioned, oh, I'd prefer this or whatever. And so we do take player feedback pretty seriously. Oh, another question. Probably missed this, but what inspired you to make this type of game? The inspiration for me was, to put it really frankly, was I wanted to play another Trauma Center game. There hasn't been one in 10 years, and I'm just nobody's making one.
The anniversary for Trauma Team was May 18th or something like that. Exactly 10 years.
There is and again, I'm not throwing shade at these, but the other games that were kind of remind me of it is there's Surgeon Simulator, but that's kind of intentionally gory and goofy. And I think it does a good job at being a goofy VR game. I've played it, it's really funny, but it doesn't have the same spirit. And the other game I think of that's Amateur Surgeon, which is I think mechanically kind of more similar, but also doesn't really have the I don't know, the whole anime aesthetic and kind of your I don't know, just this awesome surgeon. I don't know. I just felt there wasn't really a spiritual successor to the original franchise, and I don't think Atlas is gonna make another one. So I don't know. Me and Zach had a bunch of different ideas for what games we wanted to work on, and it just seemed like the right kind of game for us to build. We also wanted to make a game that wasn't about fighting anybody. We talked about that a lot, because me and him were working at companies that we made games about war and stuff. So we wanted to make a game that was well, can we make a game that's super fun that doesn't have any killing in it? And we ironically ended up at a medical game. Maybe not ironically, but I'd say those are the big inspirations and just kind of hit all the things. I don't know, Zach, do you want to comment on that too?
Yeah, I mean, so you were really the one that introduced me to the Trauma Center series, and because I hadn't played it on the Nintendo DS or on the Wii when it came out, but just for me, I ended up becoming a programmer, mostly a self-taught programmer, an engineer in the games industry. But before that, going through high school, I was watching a lot of Dr. House, a lot of House MD, and I was certain that I was going to become a doctor. that's absolutely what I was gonna do. And then at some point I looked at my grades and realized I wasn't gonna actually do so I always had like this fascination with just like, you know, medicine, like medical dramas. You know, I really love those shows, and you know, especially with House, like I was watching like one-off episodes and then got into watching full seasons, and then actually seeing like, oh, not only are there like these patients that are being operated week on week and like what, you know, what's going on. It was kind of Sherlock Holmes based, so it's like, oh, what's the mystery here? But then also you got this like deeper story with the characters and their relationships that I just loved following. And so for me, you know, before this I was also working on, you know, personal project that was like you know, like a mobile kind of adventure visual novel quest game. Like if you could take Skyrim and just make it a visual novel, that's what I was working on.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you were working on that.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, what if dungeon crawling was just like, you know, it was kind of like Zork, like text adventure. And I wanted, you know, I just realized like I really wanted to work on games that were like more wholesome, where you just had these characters that you know, slowly got to learn more and more about, and you just built more of a relationship with them, and then you got to see them grow, and your relationship grow. So like, I don't know, just like a combination of all those things has just been, you know, where I personally as a game developer have wanted to like explore more of is just these nicer, wholesome games. And yeah, and you know, just with Trauma Center is just like the gameplay's fun. I just got into playing the surgery, and I just saw like, oh yeah, this is, you know, it's very clear what you're supposed to do, the procedures, and you know, I definitely think about it like mini games or like I quite match 3, but it's just like there's a proficiency that you get there, and it's a different skill set than you know, you usually see in games. So that's been a lot of fun to play, and a lot of fun to you know, think about like how to develop that, and then like how to extend that for more and more operations.
I also remembered like the other angle of the game that inspired me was like the Persona series, and how their social links work. And I think even when I was kind of pitching it to Zach, was like, we should just make Trauma Center but with social links. It's like a big thing. We talked about social links a lot. Because I felt like that's like the next obvious like iteration on this kind of franchise, is make the story beats and make like the choosing through your dialogue and be able to become really good friends with somebody or romance people. Seemed to me at least like that's where I would expect this kind of series to go, in that kind of direction. So that's partly why we kind of ended up doing that. Is to me, it just felt like that was like the obvious evolution of this kind of game, is to get deeper on the characters. And
I just wanted to appreciate something that Matt said about us. Is like, we are making a fighting game. We're fighting someone. We're fighting death. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have any other questions, join our Discord, please. Check that out. Leave us messages.
Post links in all the various streams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's some really friendly people there, so you can go hang out with them and talk to us about the game and influence the direction. But yeah, I think we're good for now. I don't see any other questions.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, once again, thank you all for watching, tuning in. Yeah, we're planning on doing some more streams this week, just to go through character creation. We'll have some, you know, fun streams, maybe some goofy streams, and yeah, we'll figure it out. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.